Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I started this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of the live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That's a great place for you guys to get any ideas. If you're looking for ideas for different recipes or meals, that's a great place to go and check that out. Today is day 844 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose 240 plus pounds so far. I have a little over 8 months left to go. I'm looking forward to reaching my goal and spending the rest of my life at a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I'd love hearing those as well. Today is weigh-in Wednesday, and I need to hear your victories to make up for my failure on the scale this week. But yeah, and at the end of the day, what are some things that you're doing that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? We go ahead, switch over to this main screen here. Hello, Plants Only Muncher. You said that you thought it was supposed to start a half hour ago. Yes, I'm seeing that my app did show that it was scheduled to start at 3:35. I'm sorry that showed that. I don't, so what happens when I go to set up a thing on YouTube, I schedule the live stream ahead of time. And depending on when I go and do that scheduling of the live stream, it kind of defaults a time that I usually change to 4 p.m. It looks like I did not change it. So right around 3:35 was when I finally had the opportunity to make the thumbnail and the whatever for this video, the scheduling for this video. So it showed as 3:35. So I hope you weren't waiting around the whole time for me to get started. So let's see. Hello, Christy and Carrie. And Pretty Girl's mom, hello. I hope all of you guys had a great evening. I did have weigh-in Wednesday today. We will talk about that. I knew going into the weigh-in that I was going to gain some weight. And so I wasn't overly surprised. It does suck to see a 4-pound gain over the course of the past week. There's a lot of things it could be. It's not the diet. And so that's the thing that I know it's not. So it's either fluid retention, food retention, or one of those two things, because, the diet's been on point. I had written down kind of all my weigh-ins since the beginning of the year. And since the start of the year, I've had nothing but success on the scale. I had surgery right before this year started. So at the beginning of January, I was 283.8 pounds. I did not weigh in for like the first 2 weeks of January because it was just after I had the surgery. And after, about mid-January, I was still 283.8. So I stayed the same, or was able to get back to the same weight mid-January. And we're really only a month and a week later, month and less than 2 weeks later, and I'm down 5 pounds. So it sucks that I'm not down from, because I would have been down over 10 pounds, or had I not gained that weight this week. But it's part of the whole process. It's not the first time I've gotten on the scale and had a weight gain. It might be one of the larger weight gains that I had over the course of a week, which is disappointing. And it's definitely the largest weight gain that I've had while being compliant on my diet. You know, I might have seen a little bit of a weight gain in the past, but really when I've been compliant, the weight has gone down pretty considerably. Carrie says, how are we almost to the end of February already? January was the longest month ever. Yes. Well, you spent like the last 6 days watching our kids, which flew by, I'm sure. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So I'm sure it flew by while watching the kids for the past 5 days over the weekend. Hey, Barb, hope you're having a great day today. So I am going to go over the food here real quick since yesterday. Let me get that up here. And one of the things I talked a little bit about yesterday was that I knew before yesterday that my weight was going to be up, or that I potentially was going to see a gain on the scale. And if I really wanted to affect that weight or have, it not be as big of a weight gain as it ended up being, I could have fasted through the day yesterday or through the afternoon. I could have decided not to eat. And then that way, when I got on the scale today, I would have been lighter than 277.4. But I didn't want to do that because it then becomes a game where I have to play catch up each week, where this week I might have to not eat dinner on Tuesday, and then I'll lose, I'll be a couple pounds lighter on Wednesday. But then next week it's like, okay, well, now I have to skip lunch and dinner. Then the following week it's like, all right, well, I can't eat at all on Tuesday if I want to see the weight come off. And it's just a game. It really just turns into a game, and that's not what I want. That's not the point of this. This is about making lifelong sustainable changes. And so, that was, that was a choice I made yesterday. Was I'm just going to eat dinner like regular. I'm just going to eat a dessert after that. And then have breakfast. And Carrie here says that she doesn't miss me doing that, because I did that during the first year of this challenge, where I would say, I would be so desperate to see the scale go in that direction that I was willing to go and do, a 3-day fast. And I would just be like, oh, I'm just going to fast for a couple days. And in reality, it was just, oh, I'm just trying to drive my weight down so that I see success on the scale. But there was always a slight rebound afterwards. And then, like I said, the following week, I would have to do that same game of catch up and then add more time, add more fasting to it. Until eventually I would get to the point where I couldn't do that, and I'd break and I'd have to have a weight gain. And so I didn't want to do that this week, or I don't want to do that anymore. And it's about the longevity of the diet and the sustainability of it. So let's go ahead and look at food since yesterday. This was some potatoes here, and it's a food that we've had a few times. It's like a mushroom bourguignon or something like that. I think I just butchered the word worse than I ever have. But it is a very kind of savory mushroom mix, and there it is, a little bit better mixed in with the food. But it had mushrooms and carrots, onions in there, and then we just mixed it with our Yukon Gold potatoes for dinner last night. And then for dessert, we had fruit cobbler like we've been having. Again, this is something where if I would have skipped having the fruit cobbler, maybe I would be a half pound or a quarter pound lighter, but I didn't want to play that game. I didn't want to, I'm confident that I'll still be able to eat this way, and I'll see that weight loss next week. I will see. I imagine I'll see a good amount of weight loss come off next week, because whatever's going on will pass and will be good. So this was yesterday. Carrie says, you think we'd learn how to pronounce it. The recipe is on our Pinterest board. We add celery to make it a little bit saltier. Y'all aren't French. No, we ain't French. Yeah. Let's see. So this cobbler for dessert last night was delicious. It always is delicious. I think I took another photo of it with it mixed up. We actually bought, as silly as it is, Carrie bought the fruit from a different store than she had previously. And, it's still the same mix. It's still peaches, pineapples, and strawberries, but the peach slices in this mix are cut up into smaller pieces, whereas the peach slices in the other mix are like larger wedges. And I definitely like it where they're cut up already. It's just a stupid, silly little difference between the two different places. I do think that it was probably... it was probably more expensive. I think Carrie said that the frozen fruit, where she got it for, was more expensive. She says, you get what you pay for, I guess. Yes. But it's just funny that I noticed that silly little difference between the two. Then this morning for breakfast, or for pre-breakfast, I had my broccoli with a large or a healthy amount of table tasty on there for seasoning. I didn't want to use any balsamic vinegar. I didn't feel like using vinegar, and I wanted that table tasty taste. So I had that on the broccoli this morning, and then we had our regular oatmeal. So good. It's something we have all the time, every day. It seems like it would get boring, but it doesn't. It's always satisfying, and I really enjoy having the oat groat steel cut oat mix that we have, that we get. So that was breakfast. Then for lunch, which I actually just ate like right before stream here, I think I posted that I was going to do this video and put the wrong time on here, and then ate this between that and doing the live video. But this was just Yukon Gold potatoes, bag of broccoli with some of the is it the smoked hickory, I think is what we had here. Balsamic vinegar is what I put in there for today's mix, and it's amazing. It's so delicious. It was funny. Carrie will laugh at this. We were talking about trying to get somebody that we know hooked on that balsamic vinegar, so it would make so that we could get them to kind of split the shipping cost with us, or get them to order a few bottles of it to help pay for the shipping or the overall cost for getting the California balsamics. And then this afternoon, while I was eating my bowl, one of my coworkers came up to me and had said something about the balsamic that we had on the table. He was like, if you're ever, feel like getting rid of this, I'll gladly take it off your hands. Because he had tried it on some of his lunch today, and he really enjoyed it. So he told me to let Carrie know that next time we're making an order, to let him know, because he would be interested in buying some or getting a bottle of, I think he had tried the teriyaki in the past, and he really liked the teriyaki. So Carrie says that it would make him stay vegan a lot easier if he had, the California balsamics help people stay vegan, is because it gives them that option. Yes, Carrie says she's on board for splitting that shipping with anybody who wants to split the shipping. You bet. Let's see, I can stop this, but yeah, so that was food for the past 24 hours. Dinner was really good. I had a lot of potatoes in the past 24 hours. But that's pretty much what my diet ends up being. A lot of potatoes and a lot of broccoli. Let's see. I hope everybody had a chance to watch more of the Truth About Weight Loss Summit today. I was very happy with being on the summit yesterday, and I got a ton of people that started following me both on YouTube here and on Instagram. So it was really nice to see kind of the constant alerts from the new people signing up from that exposure that I got on that program today. If anybody had checked out the video today, I did not get a chance to check out any of the speakers today. I'm planning on checking it out. The replay's out later. But if you guys watched any of them, let me know what you thought of them or how they were today. I'd love to know. I think Dylan was the success story, and I did catch the very beginning of his because I saw that he was doing a cooking demo, and was talking about his stuff, that Dylan from Well Your World, which is somebody who I really have to attribute a lot of me going on this diet was just because of him posting some YouTube videos of his experience at the True North Clinic, and watching those videos and kind of seeing him go through some of the same experiences that I was going through, and then looking into the True North Clinic and finding out what they recommended as a diet. And then I started eating this way kind of because of that. So I'm a big fan of what, their channel, the Well Your World. And, so I'm going to try to check out that replay this afternoon. Let's see, the weigh-in. I suppose I talked about the weigh-in. I gained weight this week. It was not what I was hoping to have happen. But I'd lost like 1.5 pounds almost every week. I had 1 week where I lost 4 pounds at the beginning of the month. So, it's, I'm happy with I'm still the lightest I've been in the last 23 years. And I guess what I was going to talk about a little bit was the idea of slow and steady wins the race, slow and steady wins the diet race. And I think it's an interesting kind of concept, because when you're getting started on anything, or when you're trying to lose weight, or you're starting your diet journey, you are okay with the idea of slow and steady. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Even if it takes me forever, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go through the process. I'm okay with it. You're like, okay with the idea of it being slow and steady when you get started, because also in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I'm okay with it being slow and steady, but I'm going to go on a rocket ship and I'm going to lose all this weight right away. And it's going to be amazing. And when you actually first get started on your diet, you are okay with the idea of slow and steady, but your current success is not a slow and steady path. So you are tracking better, or you're generally losing better or faster than you would be on that slow and steady path that you would be okay with, but you're only okay with it because you are way ahead of the curve. You're way ahead of the pace. And it really isn't until you kind of catch up where the slow and steady, where the pace you're at slows down enough that consistent work is catching up. And then that's really when it does get frustrating, and it gets hard to cope with it, because you're comparing yourself to that just recent previous example where you were seeing such great success. But over time it's going to slow down, and it's going to happen just like any experience that you try to become better at will happen. You know, if you didn't know how to play basketball, if you didn't understand the concept of shooting hoops or dribbling, then when you first get started, you're going to very quickly learn those skills and develop you're going to develop those some skills very quickly. The very, you know, broad strokes of it, the very out, you know, like the basics, the dribbling, the things like that. You're going to get better at it. But then after some time, all that progress slows up, and then you're not seeing that change in your ability from the beginning like you were, and you start to get frustrated. And it's at that point where you have to really start recommitting and re-pursuing, because many people will quit at that point. Many people will say, well, it's not giving me that success I saw, so I'm not as happy with the diet. And that causes them to try to find new ways to lose weight, or try to tweak their diet, or try to make it more restrictive generally. And it's really that time period where it's in the middle that's the most important, to keep working and keep struggling and keep showing up and keep practicing, because it's going to be what takes you from being an amateur to a professional. Or it's going to be that work, that practice, that time in is going to be what is the difference between you being a failure and a success. It's getting up each day and continuing to stay on diet or on plan, and to understand, you know, that you're continuing to have to learn about how to deal with different scenarios, how to deal with different environments, how to deal with just life in general, because there's an infinite number of things that can happen, and you have to deal with those infinite number of things while staying on your diet, while staying committed to your pursuit of overall health and better well-being. And it isn't until you get to the end that you really be able to look back and appreciate all of the work that it took to get there. And I'm still in that middle. I'm still in that period of time where I'm looking, or I'm trying to get to where I can look back. And, you know, I guess the longer I go, the more I stay committed, the further it takes, you know, the longer it takes me to get to that end point, that I'll have more to look back on and more to be proud of. You know, if I would have lost all of this weight in the first year, then looking back, I would have a year's worth of experiences to be proud of. But because it's taken me 3 years to lose this weight, I'm going to look back and I'm going to have 3 years worth of experiences that I can look back and I can be proud of how I overcame each one of those experiences and how I handled them and how I, you know, and so, and it's a bunch of, you know, a ton of it too is going to be about creating that past that I'm proud to look back over. You know, like there's things about my 20s and 30s I'm proud of, but I'm not, I can't look back over those years and have like that overall sense of pride that I did everything I could and that I was as healthy as I could be. You know, I made lots of bad choices over the years. That's only Muncher here. You said that you don't recall Dylan. I don't know that he was overweight. I'm not sure if he was or how much overweight he was, but I know that she considered him one of the success stories. Maybe he was sick or had something else that he had overcome, but I don't know that he was grossly overweight. He wasn't overweight like I was overweight, or Tim Kaufman or Chuck Carroll, I think, was overweight, but he might have been. So the, you know, like it's just a process that is going to take a lot of time, and there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, and you have to be okay with both the ups and the downs. You have to be willing to persevere through them, because if you're unwilling to deal with the downs, you know, or I guess when the weights go up, right, the moods go down. You have to be understanding that it's going to be work. It's going to be process. It's going to take time. And if you want to have something to be proud of, it's going to take time to develop that thing to be proud of. You know, you're not going to go out and become an expert at anything the first time. You're not going to do it right the first time when you go out and you start your diet. You know, you can, you're going to have things that pop up that you're going to have to deal with. So, other than that, I'm not really much of an update today. I did have the weigh-in, so I hope you guys got a chance to go over and check out my weigh-in video. I tried posting one of those what I eat in a days on Instagram. So if you guys are on Instagram, if you can check that out and give that video a like or whatever you do on Instagram. I'm going to try posting more on there. I do need to get a link. We do have a FA dieting page on Facebook that I need to get a link for that down in the description. Maybe I'll bug Carrie about that tomorrow. But I appreciate all your guys' support, all the new people that have started watching in the last couple days. Thank you so much for coming on to this channel and following along with my progress. And I'm looking forward to going live tomorrow. And we'll see about Friday. We'll see how it is. So, but thanks guys for the support. I appreciate it so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, get subscribed to the channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, make sure that you do that. And if you've not liked this video, comment down below. How did you do this week on your weigh-in? And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody who reaches their goals, looks back, and wishes they would have waited. So get started today, guys.